Good morning. Good morning. It is your senior moment. I'm Keith Hittner Sr. It's young living or assisted living. You can make your home a healthy home, and it all starts with you. Today, boy, we got a good one for you today. It is episode 39 of the senior moment, and we're talking about salt. Salt is the thing. 860 push-ups we've done so far this month. No, 240 for the month, 860 so far since we started the program, 930 for the month, 27,290 is the big goal for the next 12 months. 240 so far this month, hard to believe. Okay, episode 39 already. Wow. Sunday morning, bright and early. Welcome to the program. We're going to talk about salt today. Boy, what a topic. He's the salt of the earth. How many times have you heard that? Sheila gets a little salty with me when I chastise her for not folding my socks correctly. Throw a little salt over your shoulder for good luck. Another day in the salt mines is an old saying that we hear many, many times. Salt. What is the deal with salt? You hear it all the time. Salt is primarily sodium chloride. The earliest evidence of salt processing was 6,000 BC, long time ago. Salt is an essential nutrient, yet too much salt, not a good thing, gives you heart problems. We like our salts, and we pay a high price for them. Sometimes just to, put our feet in it, some salt water. Pink Himalayan salt. There it is, right there. Pink Himalayan salt is said to have other medicinal value to it. Over 80%, almost 90% of all Himalayan salt that is exported and sold on the planet comes actually from Pakistan. So they mine it out of the ground. It's just a rock salt. They mine it out of the ground. A lot of it just gets exported as raw material. Some of it just gets ground up and used as road salt in that part of the world. It's mined by hand and used to make salt for cooking, and large rocks are made. They make lamps out of them. They make art objects out of them, salt licks for animals. A bag that sells for 30 cents, or actually it costs about 30 cents to produce. Sells for about that, $1 maybe in that part of the world. But in the US, we'll pay $9 for it because we'll buy anything. $9. So, like my wife. So there is sea salt. Let's think about that now. Sea salt. Sea salt is simply salt, exactly what it says, that comes from the sea. So it's made by evaporating water, and it's produced. Its production dates goes also back to prehistoric times. We like our table salt. While other areas of the globe use salt primarily in cooking, not as a table condiment, we like our table salt. In fact, we all know that guy, maybe it's you, who will sit down to eat and reach for the salt shaker before he even tastes the food, just because he puts salt on everything. So what's the deal with salt and taste anyhow? Well, as it turns out, we actually have sodium taste receptors in our taste buds on our tongue. Personal preference plays a major role in how much salt that we personally consume, just like some like salty, some like sweet, some like sour, some like bitter. So kosher salt has a larger grain size and is a favorite in cooking. I like kosher salt. It is the salt on top of the big pretzels. You see them, the big chunks of salt. Mix it with oil and you have yourself a great scrubbing compound. Salt has just so many different uses. Pickling salt is ultra fine salt. It dissolves quickly and is great for making brines and stuff like that. You'll also find finely ground salt like pickling salt and marketed as popcorn salt. So what's the difference between real salt and table salt, or road salt and table salt? Well, actually not much. Actually, it's pretty much the same thing. Road salt is similar to Himalayan salt in that both are rock salts mined from the ground and both contain the trace minerals. That's where they get that little back note of flavor profile in there. It's the processing of the salt that makes that nice white table salt that we all know, and love. So the fact is salt. It is the things it's combined with or infused with that make different salts interesting. It's also cheap and plentiful. Salt is everywhere. That's why we can put it in dump trucks and spread it on the roads. But it's so the high price that you see in many of the specialty salts is mostly related to the marketing and packaging, not what's inside the package. And you can make your own. It's so easy to do. Here, so you take it's simple. Take a teaspoon of your favorite salt, or of your favorite herb or spice. So, basil or thyme or rosemary, whatever you want to do. And put a tablespoon into a quarter cup of salt. Put it into a mason jar like this, and put an airtight or a lid on it. And in a week, you got infused salt. Easy. Or you can do what my wife does. You buy the same thing in a bottle like this and pay $8 for it. So easy to make your own. Okay, so now there's so many different kinds of salt. I've got visual aids for you today. Here's real salt. It's basically sea salt. Here is kosher salt. This is special brown, made for refilling a grinder. It just means that's big chunks. Here's some infused salt. Bagel and sesame. They just took some seeds and put it in salt. Sell it at Trader Joe's for $5. And then here's the no salt salt. Interesting. No salt. And what is it? Now this is potassium chloride instead of the other. So it's still a chloride, but it's no salt salt. So what I'm going to do is I got a great idea. You make your infused salt. You put a tablespoon of whatever, couple teaspoons of herbs into a quarter cup of salt. You put it in a bottle. You put it in a jar. You put a label on it. And you go down to the local market or flea market, and you sell them for $14 a piece. People will buy them. I'm going to come up with a no water. So you got no salt. Here's my no water. What's the ingredients? It's not water. It's H2O. Special ingredients, H2O. See? And then we'll bottle it up in a glass jar like that. I bet I can get $3 for it. All right. So what is our gratefulness moment? Well, my gratefulness moment of the day is this mason jar that I'm going to put my no water in. So I like mason jars because we do just exactly that. We have people over at the mansion here all the time. Last night, Sheila had, I don't know, must have had, a dozen people here, more 15 gals here as they're learning about health and wellness. And what has she got on the table? She's got a lovely beverage made with their Ningxia Red, which is dynamite. And they're serving it in a mason jar. So easy to do. You can do so much stuff with it. It isn't just for canning pickles anymore. So we have cases and cases of mason jars because it's a glass jar. It's a perfect size for serving a beverage. I personally like drinking out of glass. I don't like drinking out of plastic. I don't like drinking out of a can. So I'm grateful for the mason jar and its many uses. All right. So that's it for this Sunday morning, episode 39. What are we going to do now, kids? Push-ups or sit-ups? We did push-ups yesterday, so let's do 30 sit-ups quick, and then we can get on with our Sundays. Got some work to do today. Back to the salt mines like every day. And let's do 30 sit-ups beginning right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, so that's our Herschel Walker moment. A few calisthenics. It gets to be so, I almost forget what I'm doing when I'm doing them. Mind starts to wander, getting creative, kind of like mowing the lawn, kind of like we talked about the other day. All right. Remember, the older you get, the longer you want to live. I'm Keith Hittner Sr., and this has been your senior moment, and we'll